So today we are discussing about AWS CLI. So CLI is a command line interface provided by AWS to interact with your AWS services that using the commands from this particular service. You can communicate with any of the services like S3 or your Cognito or any service from your console. So this console could be just your local console, as in the terminals provided by your systems, or you can connect it from your servers from the consoles available in your bash terminals, basically available in your servers. If you are connecting, let's say this is your server and your AWS, so you can connect this to AWS from this point. This is your server and this is AWS. So it would help you to access all your AWS services from your given server. So there are multiple ways you can configure your CLIs. So one is through your IAM identity center. So if you are configuring with this, so your configure file will have something like SSO session, SSO account ID, SSO role, as in what role does it have, which region it would be accessing, and what would be the output of the CLI configuration that you have. So other type is your short-term credentials. So short-term credentials are usually received when they are specific for a given time period, 1 day or few hours. So usually the companies or organizations providing you access to the AWS environment or a specific environment, they would be using some service that would generate this for you. So one of such services in AWS is called Control Tower, where you can have access to multiple environments or multiple accounts of that organization, and they would generate these tokens for you. Now it would contain a access key, secret access key, and your session token. So access key ID and secret access key would remain the same for you all the time, but the session token would be modified after its expiration. So if your session would last, let's say, for two hours, so your access key and secret access key would remain the same. Your session token would be modified, and you will need to reconfigure your CLI or export these variables from your console to re-access your services from your CLI, from your console. Other way is using IAM roles. This would have again access key ID, secret access key, and your session token. So IAM role is basically your user or your credentials would be assigned a particular role that would have access to certain policies. Those policies could be be providing you access with certain level of services on the account. And your config file in that scenario would look like this. That would have role ARN, as in which role was used. Your config file would look like this. So it would have a role ARN, which role from your account was used, what was the source profile, so what is it, default or particular user, and what's the role session name, and the region this session tokens would be accessing, and the output, basically it would be text or JSON, anything. So, and if there is fourth type called as Amazon EC2 instance metadata. So this is credentials when you are obtaining these credentials are obtained from hosting EC2 instances metadata. So you would have your role ARN, your credential resources and region, and the output almost similar to the points we have discussed until now. The last one is the long-term credentials. This would be the case when you would be using for your own personal account, or you just have couple of accounts that you don't want to generate an organization tower and you are the only one using it, or maybe a couple of users are there, so you don't want the headache of maintaining an organization or the accounts uh, one can have access to. You can still anyways have control the access of your users in your account by their roles or by their IAM users, or what policies a given user has access to. So your credential file would look like this. Your AWS access, it would contain a AWS access key and a secret access key that you would have common with your IAM role, with your long-term credentials, short-term credentials. So now there this session token was used to actually specify the time period or validate your tokens for a specific time period, and again they have to be refreshed. And your config file saves what region or the output of your commands would look like. Let us go to our command prompt. I have macOS, so I use item2 as my default terminal. So I'll use this. Whatever you have, if you are using Windows or Linux or macOS. So for macOS users, this is what you will be seeing. If you don't have item2 set up on your system, you can use your default terminal as well, that comes along with the as a standard with your operating system. So that is also good. So just to check how whether AWS is installed in a system or not. So we need to write AWS minus minus space minus minus version, and it would say command not found. Since I don't have AWS installed on my system, so it doesn't show me anything. So let's clear this out and get the commands that we need to install the AWS CLI. So as you can see, I'll put this link in the description. As you see, there are CLI installations are available for Linux, macOS and Windows. So for Linux, these are the steps you can go through on your own and set it up. There are multiple ways to set up in Linux as well. So like for example, if you just do the command line installer, you'll be running these commands curl that would install the package for you, and then run the sudo. So it's a complete very nice setup guide given here. So for us, we'll follow in this, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll follow the macOS version. So in macOS, so the basic prerequisites is this AWS CLI version. Because earlier we had version 1, now we have version 2 also available. So on the basis of your macOS versions, you need to check what is available, what would be running for your macOS. So I have this latest macOS, so I would be having 2.21 for myself. So I wouldn't be using GUI installer, I would be rather using command line installer. So again, it is somewhat similar to what we saw for the Linux. So we'll be installing this package using the curl command. Let's copy this and take it to our terminal and let's hit enter. So it will show you the respective download. It has downloaded for me. So let's go to the next step. That will do sudo installer that particular package, and the target is if you don't want to install it, if you want to install it to a different location, you can change this particular location here by giving something like documents or something, but I will keep it on my root. So let's go. Yeah. So I have entered my password. Now the installer is running. It says the upgrade was successful. Terminal, let's say what it takes. AWS minus minus version. So see, it gives you the CLI version. For me, it has installed 2.23. This part of the video contains how you can create a user with that could have CLI access. So let's go into users. So, okay, let me show you before I go to users. So I am already into IAM. So this IAM contains users, groups, users, and user roles. So I have created one user groups. If I go onto the user groups and see, there is one already user existing with this called as user Dynamo test. So for permissions, if I check, it has DynamoDB full access. So this user should be able to access DynamoDB from my CLI. So similarly, let's go and create a user. Again, like if I go to users, I have a username as Dynamo test, which is assigned to the user that I just showed. So let's create a user. So for this scenario, I don't want to create a user group. Let's see if we can work out without the user group or user roles. So let's say this is just a CLI demo. So it says provide user access to AWS Management Console, and it's optional, but since I will be using it with the command line only, so I don't want a Management Console access. So without checking it, let's go ahead, click on next, and it is asking if I should assign this user to some group. So if I don't want to, so I can select copy permissions, like from whom it should copy the permissions. So this would copy the permissions of Dynamo test. If I select this, in this scenario, we can attach the policies directly to this user without creating a group or rules. So let's do for S3. So I'll grant this CLI user Amazon 3 full access. So we are done with the policy. Let's go to the next level. So this is the review state where you get the user details, CLI demo, and the permissions that this user will have. So if I click on create user, it will create a user. So if I go on this CLI demo user, so I get to see what all permissions it has, generate policy based on CloudTrail events. So this is different. We are not looking into this at the moment. So groups, this user is not assigned to any group, neither did we create any tags for this. So security credentials is something that is used to log in using this user to access your AWS account. So if I want to set up the multi-factor authentication for this user, I can click on this assign MFA and follow the simple steps. Now, since this demo is limited to generating the access keys and the secret access key that is required to access your AWS account from your command line prompt. So we shall go on to the step. So our use case is the command line interface only. It says we have other alternatives. AWS Cloud Shell, that is a browser-based CLI. Another is using AWS CLI v2 and enable authentication through an IAM Identity Center. So IAM Identity Center is applicable on a different scenarios, but we don't want either of them at the moment. So let's check this confirmation and go next. So again, this is just for demo. So just putting it is anyways optional. Click and it generated an access key and a secret access key for me. So I'll copy these for my retrieval and use it later. And you can click on done. Maybe you can download the CSV file. This would contain the access key and the secret access key. And click on done. So now you have one access key and secret access key available to you that you can use to configure your CLI on your local. Now that we have created a CLI user on our AWS account, so let's come back to our command prompt and configure our AWS CLI. So to configure, we just need to write AWS configure and press enter. So it will come back asking for a access key ID. I already have a CLI configured, but I'll again reconfigure it. So let me pick up one of the access key IDs that I have. Sorry, pasting it a wrong way. Yeah. So next is the secret access key. So let me bring that as well. Yeah. So press enter. The region I'll keep the same US East one, and default output format as none. So now that CLI has been configured, let's check out if I do have access to, if anything is working for me. If I do have access to, if anything is working for me using this. So I will be testing it with S3. So the command for S3 appears to be to fetch the list of the buckets. It would look like AWS S3 LS. So this should give me the list of the buckets that is available in my account. So LS, press enter, see what it gets. So it has not given me anything. So let's try creating one. So it should be MB and the path is like CLI demo bucket. So it has created a bucket for me. Now let's run the same command of listing the buckets again. AWS S3 LS. So now it has listed this bucket to me. If I want to check the contents of this bucket, let's try that as well. AWS S3 LS, and let's write the path to this. So let's see what it returns. Rajat CLI demo bucket. Since we haven't uploaded anything and this is the first bucket that we created, so we did not update or upload anything in this bucket, so it came up empty. So now we have created a bucket, we have listed the buckets, we have listed the contents of the bucket. So let's create a file. Now let's remove this. So to remove this, it would be AWS S3 and RB and the bucket name. S3 colon Rajat CLI demo bucket. So it has removed. So if I check my buckets again, the list of buckets, so it will come up empty like it shows. So this was the part of how you configure the AWS CLI and how you would be using it. So I'll share the link of where you can find all these commands for your different AWS services in the description.